I, Dr. S.R. Paul, Assistant Professor of Zoology, Jamshedpur Women's College, is now going to discuss the respiratory system of Phyla globosa. Study of Phyla is in the syllabus of UG1 SEM 2 in general elective, subsidiary course. Phyla comes under phylum Mollusca and class Gastropoda. It remain both in water and land. So the respiration is the study point of this organism. It remains in land also, in water. So in both the media, in both the habitat, it performs its respiration separately. How? Now see, Phyla has three types of parts or organ for respiration. They are ctenidium, gill, by which it can perform aquatic respiration in water. Pulmonary sac, for which or by which it can perform aerial respiration, and nuchal lobe, which act as a siphon type tube, that means formation of siphon to run the process. Now student, we will now discuss regarding ctenidium and pulmonary. Ctenidium is the gill of Phyla, and pulmonary sac is the pulmonary chamber related to the lungs of the higher organism for aerial respiration. The ctenidium, gill, in case of Phyla is monopectinate. It has single axis, and all the gill lamella are arranged parallelly, which I have shown in that diagram, which more or less look like a comb. That is called monopectinate ctenidium, which contains lamellae known as ctenidae lamellae. Okay. Now if we go through the details of the single gill lamella, we will see that it has a ctenidial axis which includes both afferent branchial vessel and efferent branchial vessels. This one what? Afferent branchial vessels and efferent branchial vessel. It is more or less looking triangular shape. The base is wide and the apex portion is gradually narrow, where the vascular pleats are arranged parallelly in decreasing order from the axial zones. Here this side is represented, it is afferent side, and this side is representing efferent side. Okay? And the diagram here which is given is showing how the water current passing in the gill lamella. You see that water entering through that part, through afferent branchial vessel, passing through its afferent side and back towards the efferent branchial vessels, passing towards the heart. and also water current passing from afferent to efferent side also in that way. Okay, so these two are just like which I have told you, afferent bronchial vessels and efferent bronchial vessels, and this is the axis. This is axis called tenoidal axis. In that way, the lamellae are arranged on the tenoidium. Both ends they are short and in the middle they are long. This is monopectinate tenoidium. It has also pulmonary sac and nuchal lobe for performing the respiration. So these are the organs, related organs which help in its respiratory process. Now we will go towards the mechanism of respiration, how phyla respire. First of all, we will discuss how respiration takes place in water. I mean aquatic respiration. First of all, you know that when the phyla respires in water, it not only remains inside water, it will come to the substratum of the water media or remain attached to the aquatic plants float on the water surface. It will attach with the aquatic plants who are floating on the water surface. At that time what happens? Now here one mechanism is shown here, that is mechanism during aquatic respiration. That is mechanism of aquatic respiration. How it takes place? Now when it will remain, I mean the species remain in the substratum, in muddy soil, first of all it extends its nuchal lobe. But mind it, the left extension of the left nuchal lobe is more than the right nuchal lobe. You see, that is left nuchal lobe, there is right nuchal lobe. But when it will extend the nuchal lobe just to form a siphon-like structure, the left nuchal lobe slightly longer than the right one. Then what happens? Now water enters through that nuchal lobe, and water current, which is called water in current, passing into the pulmonary chamber. Whenever that will pass into the pulmonary chamber, there is ospiridium which takes the water current. What type of water? It is fresh water, fit for respiration, or it is polluted or disturbed water. So this is its testing organ, that is called ospiridium. So when water in current comes into the pulmonary chamber, the whole tenoidium baths with water. And tenoidium is, you see that the pillets are vascularized, both afferent and efferent bronchial vessels are there. So when the tenoidium which fully bathed with water, here exchange of gases takes place. You see that is the heart, this is auricle, that is ventricle. So respective exchange of gases takes place. That means it takes oxygen, it performs respiration, and after cellular respiration carbon dioxide produced, it then remove the carbon dioxide which pass out through the right nuchal lobe. Understand? So that is aquatic respiration. Here you see that both nuchal lobe are taking part in that respiration for taking in current water and passing out the excurrent water. Here it has written in current water, water is entering where? Into the pulmonary chamber. And at that time the tenoidium is fully bathed. And as it is vascularized in nature, so automatically exchange of oxygen and CO2 takes place. So CO2 expelled out through excurrent water. Understand? So this is the mechanism of aquatic respiration. Now we will now proceed towards the mechanism of aerial respiration. Mechanism of aerial respiration. That is also like that when during aerial respiration, when the species remain out of water, I mean in land, it extends the front portion, I mean the foot, the frontal portion, and in that time it extends the nuchal lobe. You see that nuchal lobe are extending from the body, muscular body. Air enters through the left nuchal lobe and it ultimately come into the pulmonary chamber. This pulmonary chamber is also vascularized, who is in contact to the heart also. So when air enters into the pulmonary chamber, with the help of the blood vessels, exchange of gases, I mean taking of oxygen and exhaling of CO2 takes place. So after performing the respiration, CO2 expelled out from the pulmonary sac through nuchal lobe. Understand? So this is aerial respiration. So you should have to mind in your position. You keep in your mind that the species, I mean phyla, respire in water if dissolved oxygen is more in water. Then it will perform the aquatic respiration. Otherwise, it maintains aerial respiration and come to the surface of the land and extend its front zone, so that the front zone, the nuchal lobe and the siphonic tube come in contact to the air, and ultimately it can inspire air and expire the exhaled air. Understand? So this is the mechanism of respiration. So phyla respire, and it respire in water condition media, I mean aquatic respiration, and in land, I mean aerial respiration. Both type of respiration performed by the species. So it contains both type of respiratory unit, I mean ctenidia for aquatic respiration and pulmonary sac for aerial respiration. Understand? This is regarding everything all of respiration of phyla. Okay, thank you.